our morning just rocking.
Your morning just rocking.
But it's about to smooth out in a minute. Don't make me shout.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Are we on, you guys? Can y'all see us? On live.
Let me get on there and see. What we at on Contagious Curves page?
Sorry, you guys. We're having technical difficulties. Just give us one moment, okay? They're checking to see if it's running fine, okay?
Y'all took my phone.
Okay, it's running.
It's running?
I don't even see it.
It's on the page. We on there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. Y'all, we good? Oh my God, I sound like a child.
I first one, dude. When I was a child, I did childish things.
Amen.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the curve.
Yeah, we're back. Okay, yeah, we're back.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
They're having their moments.
I'm really upset with you today.
What did I do?
Did you see I should sashay through here?
I did not mean to shut you.
Oh, back to us.
Anyway, we were talking about when to let go. We were really interrupted, and it really got good. We didn't even know we had to stop. The funder was talking about her experience with someone she worked with at work from United Health. She'll finish while she's looking at me.
Well, I was talking about Mississippi.
How do you outgrow it, though? Do you outgrow?
When is it time to
Yeah,
let
to
it
let
go
it go.
of a friendship? You know what I'm saying?
No, if it's a good friendship,
If it's a good
you
friendship,
wouldn't want to
of
let it
course
go.
you
So
don't.
she's talking about a good friendship,
Yeah,
right?
she's
Yeah, I'm talking about a good friend.
But when you have friends that betray you or whatever,
Mhm.
because I had a friend and I mean, you know, I thought we were really, really good, but it was so much negative going on every time you look around, you know, and I would just excuse it, and in 2 weeks we were cool again, you know. And my husband kept saying, and I wasn't married to him then, he kept saying, he said, baby, it's time to let this friendship go. This girl don't mean you good, you know. She's always negative towards you. And like one of the incidents, well, I have 3 kids, you have 1, you know. And I was willing to help, you know. Like she said at Christmas time, she wasn't going to be able to afford to buy her kids anything. And, you know, like I said, I'm not bragging. I was willing to help her out, although I had 3 kids. And I told her, I said, okay, have your child write down everything that she wants for Christmas. I can't promise you that I can get it for her, but I'll be willing to do what I can. So I did that. And then in turn, later on in the friendship, her daughter was going to be in a pageant. Well, my boys played ball, you know, and I tried to explain to her. She wanted me to be there. She said, you're the godparent. I said, no, I'm not the godmother. I just helped you in a time I saw you needed help, you know. And she got really upset with me because I didn't come to the pageant. But my boys played ball, you know. And so I was going to be there to support my kids. And so we fell out for about 2 weeks off of that incident. And I mean, it was just one incident after the next. I would do hair. And she came and she wanted me to do her hair. She kept calling. I told her I was exhausted. I couldn't do it today. Next thing I know, she's at my door knocking, wanting me to do her hair. And I told her, I said, look, I'm exhausted. I'm not going to do your hair today. Oh, and then she went off on me or whatever. And we stopped talking then. And that's when my husband now said, it's time to cut this off. You know what I'm saying? Because this girl here wants everything that benefits her. She's not worried about you, you know. And like I say, I love her as a friend, but we'll never be that close anymore, you know. I had to cut the friendship off.
Sometimes people just outgrow people.
Yeah, and you have to know when it's
Yeah.
time to let go of people because everybody can't go where you're going.
That's right.
That's
Like,
true.
It's a season for everybody, and sometimes people are meant to be left behind.
That's
Like,
so true.
I mean, I had a friendship probably 20 years old that I had to decide it was time to let go. Like, I'm trying to grow mentally, physically, financially, and you're growing, increasing in kid size. Like, it's just a time that you have to choose where this is not where I want to be. And that's when it's time to let go. Anytime there's something in your life that's pushing you back to where you used to be, it's time to let it go anyway.
I feel like it's time to let a friendship go when betrayal comes in and you can't disloyalty. Like when you not being loyal to me, I got to let you go.
That'd be the same thing. Okay, we talk about friendships. That's you and your girlfriend. What about a relationship? with your boyfriend or your husband or.
Same thing.
It's same thing. If it's not producing anything,
That's
it's
right.
time to let it go.
And if it's all one-sided, if you're helping him and he's not helping you, one, you want somebody that got something to bring to the table just like you do, or you're already unbalanced. You know, said we're supposed to be equally yoked anyway. So no, you don't want to bring somebody to the table that's gonna bring confusion and no finances, no way to help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because we can do bad about ourselves. Just being really truthful. And then if you're dealing with any type of abuse, whether it's physical, mental, you know what I'm saying? It's time to move on. I don't advise anybody. I don't care if you're holy, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, falling out, speaking in tongues. I don't advise nobody to stay with somebody that's abusing them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Just like falling out, speaking in
And
tongues.
falling out, speaking in tongues.
a friendship and a relationship kind
Shout.
of goes hand in
Yeah,
hand.
goes
You know
hand
what I'm
in hand.
saying? If
I mean,
you know, disloyalty in both,
That's right.
and dishonesty and betrayal in both can.
I mean, it's not just women. We're saying men too. If
That's
you-
right.
if
That's
the-
right.
the-
Yeah.
Your
Either
better
way.
half. Either way. It's just
And
saying
then
that it's time. Know your time, and when your time has
Expired.
it's
That's
time
right.
to move along.
Especially like if you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for over a year and you're ready to expand to the next chapter and he's still at the beginning of the book. I always could, look at relationship just like a book.
And that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
because if I'm already at chapter 3 and you just still looking at the index,
The table of contents.
table of
Yeah,
content,
exactly.
this ain't gonna work.
Not even a table of contents.
God.
Yeah, because I'm ready to move forward.
Right.
You know,
I mean, but that brings along the question of how do you know that that's the person you want to pursue? Because like, if they haven't even progressed to open the book up, why are you even? Why were you pursuing them anyway?
that's how you know it's time to move on.
Sometimes we think we see potential in a person,
Right, trying to
and
change
we're
somebody.
trying to make that person be who we want them to be. We're gonna shape them the way we think they need to be.
Try to mold
At
them.
the same time, they're not even on your level.
It all.
But see, that's a mama level. You don't supposed to raise no grown.
That's
I mean, but as women, we take that tendency on, and
Yeah.
we want to be mama. We want to be able to fix everything,
Right.
and we can't.
We want to give them a chance to prove themselves, but
But that's what I'm asking. Like basically, what I'm trying to figure out: when do you know, within yourself,
That you pay
That
and
you-
bougie.
yeah, I know I'm paid to bougie or whatever. But anyway, like, what signs within yourself do you
you can
know?
find that right here, Contagious.
Yeah, you can find that.
Start
But
ready.
back to the subject. See, when I come on the scene,
Okay, come on, Tiffany. We ready.
I lost my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
But how do you know within yourself? I guess what signs within yourself do you know it's time to move around? Like, is it something in your spirit? Yeah, in a friendship, relationship,
Well,
whatever.
everything, everybody
You
gets
gotta be able to listen to you.
Yeah, that's
like,
right.
what that's
Okay.
on the inside of you, be like a.
Anything that
Something
becomes a
your
burden, anything that becomes a burden,
Or like a job or task.
Yes.
it's time to move forward. Anything that you just you wake up to and you be like, oh.
Exactly.
Inside you knowing it's time to move on.
But sometimes we still try to hold on,
Yeah.
although we
Yeah.
know it's time to move on.
Exactly.
We don't want to let go, but I promise you, and it can be a day you're not even upset or anything. It's like God will pour something in your spirit, and you'll know right off the bat
Like a
that it is
Facebook post, you
time.
could pull up
You
your
will
phone
have
on
a
Facebook.
made up mind, and when just like on a job, when you get ready, when you know you want something in life, you start to make progress. You start working toward getting these things done. That's just like when it's time for it's time to move on in a relationship. You automatically start preparing yourself. You start trying to, hey, I'm gonna get a little extra overtime every day, so I have money to get my place. You're gonna start looking for a
Save
place.
money.
That's right. You're gonna save money. You're gonna prepare yourself to move on and not even say a word.
You know,
You
I did
gonna
that
move
with my
in
first
silence
place.
when it's
I'm not
time.
even gonna lie. I didn't have nothing in my account, but I just went ahead and said, I'm taking me and my baby to move. That's what I did, and I made it. You know,
That's right.
I mean, but see, that's. But what you were trying to say, I mean, that sounds like faith. I mean, you gotta have faith.
That's
If
right, you
nothing
got
else,
to have
you gotta have faith.
If not,
Yeah.
And that's what when I don't mean to chime off the subject that we're on, but faith. Some people just really have to understand faith. You can have like you say, the mustard seed. Some people are scared, afraid to step out on faith.
I mean, I don't have a lot of faith. I'm gonna be honest about that.
But you got faith.
That's something you have to grow.
You got something to
I
grow
do
on.
not have
And
a
it's
lot
nothing that we can say, oh, you gotta have faith. We can't
Right.
preach it to you. That's something that you have to have with
And you have
Right.
you
It'll
get
grow
more
over
growth,
time.
Yes,
And
right.
I
You get more
mean,
faith as you grow.
Yeah.
You're
different
a progress.
situations.
You're a work in progress.
I am a work in progress.
Situations.
Everybody's a work in progress.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Because I'm still working.
Why? Why
Why,
don't you?
why don't I have a lot of faith? I mean,
What that was?
I don't know. I just got caught my friends here. You know, I don't know why I don't have. I guess it's a lot of stuff I've been through. Tears you down.
Oh.
Don't tell you.
I
I'm just gonna turn my head and drink my mimosa.
Not today.
But that
No,
has
ma'am.
nothing to do with it, you know. But I don't know.
I
Relationship.
mean, that's kind of like with me too.
Friendship,
Like,
kinda big heart.
I'm afraid people say I think negative.
No.
A lot. I don't think negative. I
I don't
don't
wanna
feel like
cry
I
no
think
more.
negative a lot.
We done got this trilogy, y'all.
One
Y'all
tip. You
I
think you
don't, I
have to
don't
do?
feel like I think
If the
negative.
vase
I
cracks,
just
she
look
crack.
for, stuff that can happen in the future. I'm like, okay, I can do this, but what's the consequence of me doing this? Something bad gonna happen. Like, I feel like if I
Yeah.
get too happy, oh, it's something wrong.
So
Like,
you automatically doubt yourself and down yourself before you ever even get into it.
I feel like I be trying to look at reality of stuff.
No. And see, that's the thing. That's looking at it in a natural eye. Like, you have to be able to look at it on a faith-giving eye. Like, you have
That's
to
right.
know. You don't even give yourself the opportunity to be like, there's something else that can go wrong. Know that it's going to work out. They need to ruin my makeup.
Hi, baby, over here.
God dog.
Not today.
All
You
that-
give me the Kleenex you clean your face with? Oh my
Look,
God.
I don't know what to do. Your boss can crack and she crack.
But I don't know, yeah. But that's why I don't have a lot of faith. I'm kind of like her. I see negative. So much negative happens, and then it kind of kills your faith. But even though when I said I moved out on my own, it was a faith move. But
God saw you through it.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
that's
like,
the thing that you need
that's
to
your
think on
faith.
your positive.
yeah, I mean,
Because he's gonna do it. If you step out, he's gonna help you all the way, 100%. And you have to think on things that he's already brought you through.
I
think
mean,
on
get
the
your
positive.
examples, feed off of that. Like,
That's right.
I could tell you that it's gonna be okay, but look back. Like
And
when I
your
started in this store, we moved in like March. Every time we got ready to say we were gonna open, it was always something. But this was something I knew I wanted. Like, you have to look back, like, even on days when people don't even walk in our store, don't spend anything or anything like that, like, I have to know that there's something bigger for me. Like, you can't dwell on what's not working right now. Just know that he has a bigger plan.
and
He
I try to
wouldn't.
keep that mindset that okay, something's good gonna happen. What I want for my life is gonna happen. But it's so hard
It is.
when you feel like you just
You know,
stuck.
It
really don't have nobody there to-
you know, your faith is always tested.
It's all
And you know,
My makeup is
Lord
tested.
knows I have. What is the word I'm looking for? When you can tell somebody about what's going on with you. I have some
You've been-
testimonies that I could share, but you know, she already crying, so I'm not gonna even go into
Please
detail.
don't.
But anyway, just an example. 1 year, I didn't work. I did not work at all. And the thing about it was, I went on job interviews. I mean, you know, I talked the talk, I walked the walk, but no one would hire me. And it had got to me that, like, Lord, why can't I find me a job? But at the end, I my bills were paid. How they got paid? The Lord, because I ain't got no money coming in. What you call it? Unemployment had ran out.
Hey, rent out.
It rent out.
It ran out the house.
They wouldn't even give me an extension. It was gone. I had exhausted all of it.
Oh wow.
But my bills were paid. That same year, I took a trip to Vegas. I stayed inside, the other store that you used to work in all the time. So one day, I went to church, and I said, and I had never been to this church, and some friends had invited me to come, and I went. And what that pastor said to me made me realize a whole lot. What he said to me was, we sit up and we worry about bills and stuff. He said, but there ain't nothing you can do with it. He said, if you get a cutoff notice for Friday and they ain't turned it off, you got Saturday and Sunday to work on it, to figure it out how they're going to get paid by Monday. And how did he know that was my problem? That's what I was worried about. And no lie, Monday came, my bills were paid. So it's like my faith was being tested, but I knew that it was something. It was something brewing for me, but I had to be patient and wait for it.
See, I'm not patient. I'm not patient at all.
But most women are not.
Most women, I mean, I'm not patient, and I have to catch myself sometimes and be like, you know, it comes at this time.
Right.
But, and even like, I keep saying this story, but even like this story, like, as I started to get discouraged, because I've actually considered just going online, closing the store. But as I considered all the things that I've been through in 1 year, like, I mean, I've leaped major mounds in a year. Like, I've been places that people wish they could have been in 3-4 years. I did that in my first year. So if he can do that for me in my first year, what's my second year gonna be like, or my third year? So you gotta be able to push forward and know. And patience is so hard for me, but I mean, it worked.
It does. I mean, when you stated that you just moved out and moved on your own, it's no secret. I left my husband in December 2008, and I moved to Shreveport. I lived with my little sister in her 2-bedroom house, and she had 2 kids and I had 2. And remember, this was December 2008. We was watching a football game at my cousin's house, and this guy comes in and was talking about this house. So my cousin was like, well, I'm not looking for a house, but my cousin is. So I was like, yeah. So, him and I were talking. He gave me the number. So I called the guy, Tim Wilhite Electric in Bossier City. I mean, when I say God sent that man to me, he sent him to me. I went, me and the guy was talking. He said, you like the house? I said, yeah, I love it. I said, how much are you wanted to rent it for? He was like, well, I don't want to rent it. I just, want to go ahead and get rid of it, sell it. Me, I'm like, well, my credit ain't good. I can't afford to buy this house right now. He said, do you like the house? I said, yes. He said, do you want the house? I said, yes. He said, okay, I'm going to draw up some paperwork. That man drew up paperwork for 15, 30, and I think it was 15, 25, and 30 years. And I said, well, I can't afford to buy it. He said, that's not what I asked you. What I asked you was, do you want the house? So I became a homeowner. Didn't have I'm telling you, God was with me. Didn't have no closing costs. Only thing I had to do was pay my first month mortgage was $630 and house insurance, and that was it. It was a blessing for me, and I had to leave a situation that I was in order to get the blessing that God has had for me. So, and during the whole time, I kept faith, and you just have to. I mean, you don't have to have a whole lot, but you can have just a little.
That's right.
You know how big mustard seed is? They say it all the time. That's all you have to have. And I'm telling you, my faith has been tested many times. It really has.
I'm going to say, we had to have had this conversation this morning, because this morning has been hell on rocks to start. I mean, when I say that everything that could have went wrong this morning could have went wrong. I mean, we lost the cord to the camera. We still don't know where that is. I mean, it's stuck in the camera somewhere. Like, it has been one morning. But whoever is questioning their faith, or whether they need to take that foot and step on out, like, take it. Have faith in yourself, if nothing else. Like, if you're in a relationship, a job that you have no closure, and it's time to let it go, here's your sign. It's time to let it go.
That's right.
Just let it go.
And also about the model call.
Oh, the model call. We have a model call today at 2 to 5. All the women that are sitting here at this table have modeled for us. So don't get discouraged when we say model call. Even none of us had experience. My first fashion show, I just faked it till I made it. Like, we're not looking for you to have this huge portfolio of your modeling career. We just want regular people who want to display themselves and are okay with that. And even if you're not, a bunch of us at this table weren't comfortable with certain things, but we have definitely grown together. So if you feel it in your spirit, come out today between 2 and 5 for our model call. We will be waiting on you at 2601 Mackey Lane, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71118. And don't forget, we have Full Figure Fashion Week coming up October 20th through the 22nd. It's going to be an event you don't want to miss. Thank you.
See y'all next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
Whoop, whoop.